What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the locker room. I am your host and your favorite Kansas City girl, Kennedy Bright. And as always, what is said in the locker room stays in the locker room. Get your playbooks ready, guys. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another week, another episode. And this one's a very special one because you're listening to this on my actual birthday, March 25th. Can you believe it? Your girl turns 25 on the 25th. So it's my golden birthday. It's super special. And if you're listening to this, you're probably like, oh my God, the audio again. Just so you know, I'm clearly not back in Dallas. That is why I do not have my regular podcast mic. And if you're watching on YouTube, you see that I'm in a hotel right now. That is because I'm in California for my birthday and I'm enjoying it and it's a vibe. You have to check out the vlog if you care for the trip, but just know your girl just went on a boat, a little yacht or whatever to go look at whales. We went to go look at whales. So that was great. But this year, one thing I wanted to do for my birthday was me and my siblings always said as kids that we were going to do something super big for our golden birthday. My sister's is the 27th and my brother's is the 28th and I was the 25th. So we were like, we're going to be grown. We should be able to afford to do something. So I want to be able to do something super nice for my birthday. And I wanted to do things this year on my birthday, around my birthday that align with the person I want to be in this next year and align with the life I want for myself. Like Michelle Obama says, I know you've probably heard the sound before. You have to practice who you want to be. You don't just wake up and become that person. And as always, I say, I'm not the it girl. I'm not that girl. I'm the girl, and I need to be that the girl. And if I want to be the girl, and I want everyone to know who the girl is, then clearly, I have to start holding myself accountable and putting myself in the right direction. That's enough of the like heart to heart. But that is something I'm working on and working on being present in the moment, working on really using like tools outside of just like my medication to help with my anxiety, depression, my PTSD, like really working on things. So yeah, that's something that is important to me and I'm doing a lot of different things on this trip to embody the kind of person and the type of lifestyle that I want. And I'm really kind of see if I could get used to living the California life. I don't know yet. So far, I like it. But I'll let you guys know in the vlog or next week when I see another episode how it will be. Originally, I told you guys this episode probably this week from after last week's episode was going to be about the power of privacy, especially with dealing with athletes. But that one I kind of want to sit down and really take more and write more and outline, have a clear view of what it is that I want to say for that episode. And I originally at first I was like, oh shoot, like I'm just trying to live in the moment, YOLO, it's my birthday week, and I didn't record the episode before I left Kansas City. So I wasn't gonna do one. But this kind of just struck me and I wanted to just talk about it on the topic about, athletes and them making money, what all that means. Just around, I don't even know what I'm gonna title it yet, but that's pretty much the idea of this week's episode. It is NFL contract time right now, so you're probably getting a lot of notifications, seeing things on social media about how much athletes are making, whether they're getting a new contract with a new team, re-signing with their team, or the draft's coming up, and you'll also get information on that once it happens for how much these guys are making. And first off, I have never looked up how much a guy I talk to makes. I don't know, I think that's kind of rude, and I think it's just kind of a little bit of a invasion invading their privacy a little bit, and I just don't know why they even make an announcement of how much someone makes. I feel like athletes is the only career, maybe not, but one of like the main only careers, I'll just say that, where you're gonna know how much someone's making. You can Google it and you'll find out. And I'm just like, that is literally ridiculous to me. So, one, I just never have personally looked, and I haven't looked for a couple different reasons. Like I said, one, I do think it's rude, and I think it's invasion of their privacy. Like, you're not supposed to ask people how much they make and stuff like that. They say it's disrespectful, but yet we know how much these men make. Okay. Two, I'm the kind of person if I find out how much money a guy I talk to makes, and he never I don't know, helps me out when I'm in a bind or anything like that, then I start to kind of feel some type of way. And I have like a perfect example. So I got into a car accident when I was in college and I was talking to this guy. And at this point, when I got into my accident, I had known him going on 3 years. And it was literally like 200, like 70 something dollars. Like the thing is, I couldn't go on the highway or anything. I take back streets all the time because of my hood was dented. And they said, like, if I got onto the highway, my hood would fly off and it would literally, smash into me in my windshield and, I could like die or whatever. So, anyways, So it was like a whole deal. He thought it was like so funny. He used to always laugh about it or whatever. Literally like 270 something bucks. And I'm just like, you clearly have that money. Like, I didn't know how much he made, but I knew he had $200. Like, you could have been like, bro, you in a bind, like, let me do this for you or whatever. So it's just like, I don't like knowing because when I end up in situations and you don't help me out, then I kind of feel like, I don't know, it makes me feel some type of way. It shouldn't, because, how much money a man spends on you should not determine how much he likes you. But I think it kind of does bother me a little bit. So that's why I do not like to know. Same with too, I feel like people around you, like my family's like, well, he can't all this money. Like, why he not doing this for you? Why he not doing that for you? And I'm just like, what? Like, so I really just don't personally like to know. Like I said, it just makes me feel some type of way. And so just don't. I don't want to know. Reason number three, I do not need another reason to subconsciously keep someone around and deal with their BS if I don't have to. So we can say all day we don't do things out of motives, out of money or whatever, but I will be honest, like coming from like a college student at the time, and like I was playing sports and being dyslexic, so like clearly I could not get a job and stuff. Like we don't know everyone's background and we all have different reasons, but like for me, yeah, like when you're struggling and you need to figure things out, and like at my last school I was at, we didn't get stipend even though we were division 1. So for instance, that's not, you're having to fund your own lifestyle. So yeah, you kinda can use their money as, like, a reason to deal with them because of how much they make, and you just don't want it to be that way. You know how, like, you can be like that about a guy's looks. You'll be like, "Oh my god, he's super cute, he's very nice looking," and that will make you keep him, keep him around. So let alone if you find out it's something that someone can actually give to you. It's just you don't need anything else, okay? And also too, if you look up, like, what his net worth is, that's, like, not how much exactly he gets either. So there's that. There's some mistakes that I feel girls make when it comes to just this whole category. First off, we Google. Yes, I feel like as females, we Google guys. You find out someone slides in your DM, you see a blue check, you're gonna Google 'em. I think it's okay to Google an athlete if you're legit trying to figure out, making sure he's real and all of that. Like, sure, dot your I's, cross your T's. But I don't feel like you should really be looking up how much he makes and different things like that because, like I said, it's just like you're not giving yourself a chance to find out what kind of person he is when you're constantly looking up everything, reading all these articles and finding out different things about him. Like that's just not how it like would work. We have to understand that Googling an athlete is completely different from looking at someone's mom's Facebook. Like on someone's mom's Facebook, you might find some information, some embarrassing pictures. You might see that his girlfriend still comes to Thanksgiving, like whatever. But when you Google an athlete where articles and things, it's an archive of information about him, when you do that, you're finding out about him. Like, you're gonna end up next thing you know all these facts about him, and he gonna be like, you didn't give him a chance to share those with you. So that's kind of understand it's a difference because Facebook is just parents doing little stuff, writing stuff about their kids, but the media, social media, journalists, they are documenting this person's life, this person's career, information, fun facts, and now you don't even know that before. Okay. So I just wanted to like sprinkle that in there. And a lot of times guys will literally think they're the shit because of how much money they make and because you can Google, just don't do it. Okay. Because it is nothing that pisses me off more. Because there were like one of the guys, I was like, oh, like, yeah, I know your birthday or whatever. And he's like, everyone knows my birthday. You can just Google me. It's right there. Like, excuse me, I do not Google you, number one. Number two, like it kind of takes away the, I don't know, like a romantic intimacy side of like, I know these things about you and not like, oh, I don't remember the answer. I'm just gonna go look it up. Like, no. Two, you do not want to judge a guy based off the things that you do find. And I don't mean like he's been in trouble with the law or anything like that. But what I'm referring to is you don't want it to be that you see how much money he makes and that determines, if you're gonna mess with him. You don't want to see that he maybe doesn't play. What's his playing time like? Where he was drafted, if he was drafted. Like you don't want to do that. And I know girls are really like that because I have this one girl, a friend, and she literally said to me, she was like, oh my God, he was drafted, Kennedy, in like I think he was drafted in like the 7th or 8th round. We're so much better than that. We only do first and second round picks. And I'm like, who's we? We the people? We the people of the United States? Like, girl, what? Like, I don't think that way. So when she had said that, I'm like, that is so like, you hear the airplane, y'all? It's a Southwest plane. Anyways, I was like, that is like to me, that was like really rude. It could come off very offensive. And I just was like, yeah, it just that really blew my mind. Like blew my mind. And I don't want you guys thinking that way because you do have to understand that whether someone's drafted, undrafted, that does not mean that they are not good and that they could not become one of the top players. You know, I did a TikTok on that during the draft last year. Like, understand that where you're drafted does not really mean anything when it comes to your actual career. So that's one. Two, they always have potential to get better. You always can get better, you know, just being able to make it on a squad, being able to even get a playing time, you know, whatever. That's great. You know, it takes some people time. So you don't want to miss out on someone who's actually a decent person just because you're like, "Oh, he doesn't play or he doesn't make a certain amount of money." Like, just don't do that. Like, everything, they're still developing, they're still growing. So and even if he sucks, it's okay. If you like him, you like him. You can like someone who sucks. It's okay. Like, he doesn't have to be this great athlete. If he sucks, let him suck. If he's nice and treats you right, like, it shouldn't matter. Like, it really shouldn't. I know social media tells you otherwise, but it shouldn't. For me, I like to sit back and get to know the guys that I talk to. I want to know you first and I want to know what you're going to offer like to the table, like offer up information, you know, like what you're willing to tell me so I can get an idea that tells me what kind of person you are, how good of communicator, engaging, everything that is. I don't want to really sit around and just, know everything about you and then the conversation's dry, you know? So it kind of makes it fun, a little game to find out information about him through him and not actually using it's like cheating. Using Google is literally, it's literally cheating. 3. Everyone has different reasons for why they want to have money in life, how much money they want in life, why they, think certain figures is important to them. Everyone has their own reasons, right? And for whatever your reason is, you're going to be, biasly driven towards a person when you know how much they make. If you know someone can supply a certain type of lifestyle, and that doesn't even mean marriage, that means just like getting flued out. He can buy you bags, he can buy you fancy dinners, like whatever, makes your social media look good. You know what I mean? It doesn't even mean that you two end up somewhere in the long run, but if you see someone makes a certain amount of money and you're like, oh wow, like he could really provide a lifestyle that I want, you then ignore red flags, you turn them green, you kind of just keep pushing everything else away just because of the money that you see. And that's really not important. And that's actually like, it can be detrimental to you, your mental health, to your trauma, to what you end up dealing with, putting up with, because like you're literally going to be blinded by the money. And that's, you don't want to put yourself in that position at all. And if an athlete figures out, like they already are like that, but you don't want him to use that power of money over you, using it as a weapon and a way to keep you around because he knows like you're gonna stay around because of how much you make, you know? And for the most important thing that girls get wrong is you have to understand just because you see how much money he makes on a website, whatever, that's what his money he makes on a piece of paper. That does not mean that he handles his money well. Like you have to get that. Like sometimes, depending on what type of family dynamic he has, how many people are in his family, like he's gonna dish out a lot of money to his family. Okay. You're gonna have like his homeboys that he grew up with, his community, and not like charity. I mean, like, just giving money back to people that he knows in his community. You know, he may have a gambling problem. He may have an insecurity problem to where he feels that he has to have all of this designer to keep up with his teammates, these chains, all these like diamonds, getting all these tattoos. Like, you never know what they're actually doing with their money. Just because you see they make so much money does not actually mean they're actually have that in their pockets, that they're actually spending it, correctly. A lot of people, athletes will talk about like getting, ran dry, like just drained financially because they have to give so much money to so much family members, like extended family. Sometimes they have big immediate families, like a lot of siblings. Like it's a lot that goes into it. So just because you see he makes so much money does not mean you're ever going to actually see that money because like I mean, I'm sorry, like it's no guarantee what he's actually doing or being responsible. I was talking to this guy, had a really nice contract. Just know this, he was drafted in one of the drafts, he was in the first round. So that gives you an idea. Very good athlete, like top tier. I found out from like a friend and stuff because she was with a guy in the league and just basically like, well, I discovered myself already that he was basically kind of broke. And I'm like, what is he doing? Like, where's his money? Like, it just wasn't making sense. There was a lot of like different like little red flags, but I wasn't there for his money. So like that didn't matter. But it did question, make made me wonder, like, what all did you do? Like how did you blow this money? And turns out my friend, she was like, "Oh my god, like you're talking to so and so. Yeah, he got into some trouble and um like a gambling trouble." And I went to his place once and I saw like these gambling chips. So I was like, "Okay, so he's a gambler and that's a red flag for me. I don't do gamblers." And she was like, "Yeah, he got into trouble in it got into some trouble in Vegas. He needed money and my boyfriend had to give him some money and like he still has never paid him back." Like all of this. So I'm like, dang, that's crazy because I see how much money he makes. I see, whatever. Okay, great. But he's owing people money. He's not paying his bills. Like he's basically, in debt. Like that's not okay. So just because someone has money does not mean that they physically, literally are going to have it. And a lot of times guys can flex and say they have it and they really don't. Now, I want to get into the part for me, my main message, what Kennedy wants to say about this topic, okay? And what you all need to get through your head. I just talked about this on TikTok last night. You know how much money a man makes doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until he's spending any money it does not matter until he's spending money on you. And that does not mean, I want to clear this up first off the bat. I am not saying that he needs to spend money on you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying if he ain't flying you out, if he ain't giving you money, kick him to the curb. If he ain't buying you, that's not what I'm saying. Just like I do not like the topic, if he wanted to, he would. I don't agree with that topic either, that statement, and we will talk about that in a whole different podcast episode. But that's not what I'm saying. I never go into anything thinking a guy owes me anything or like owes me a certain amount of money. Like that's not what I'm saying at all. But what I will say, it just doesn't matter. If you're not giving me any money, it doesn't matter. Sometimes, like I said, guys like to flex, like to act like they have all this money, act like they're so successful, whatever. And like in a gloating way, like throwing it in your face type way, not letting you know that he's stable, but throwing it in your face. I don't care. I don't look up how much money you make because I don't care. Yes, like I said at like the earlier beginning, I do like finding kind of rude. And two, I just don't like finding out about it because when I'm due, I'm like, dang, I'm in the situations you ain't ever helped a girl out. That is true. At the same time, it really doesn't matter and it does not affect me at all because I'm not seeing that money. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not going anywhere into a judging factor or basing it off anything at all, this whole money thing. Because if he's saying that he has all this money, he's doing all this or that, and I'm not ever seeing any of it, the money doesn't exist. It's irrelevant. It's not real. It's not a real thing because you're not experiencing it. So the money does not matter towards you as a person. So why do you care how much he makes if you're not ever seeing any of that money? So his bank account should never be brought up in a conversation like among you and your friends as to why you like him. If he's not helping you like supply your dreams, support your business, helping you get through school, helping you, with food, groceries, like whatever it is that you need, if he is not actually doing that, well, hate to break it to you, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter how much he makes. And that is how I like to view things and do things for myself. How much money a guy makes, I'm like, that's great, that's cute, but until he is helping make my life better, then I'm good. I do believe that, it's not his job to help you, it's not his job to support your life. That is not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is a lot of times we will flip and jump categories and, move around standards because we see how much a man makes and he makes a certain amount of money, but you're not seeing it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you're not benefiting from his bank account. So if you're not benefiting from his bank account, it doesn't matter. Like it literally irrelevant. It does not exist. And that is something that I need you rookies, I need you guys to get that through your head. Okay. How much he makes does not matter because if it's not affecting your life, the money's irrelevant. So please never factor that into why you talk to someone, why you put up with someone. Sometimes they will never spend money on you, but they will use the potential of, see you acting like that. I was gonna buy you that bag you wanted, but never mind. No, 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 I'll be good, I'll be good. See, I was gonna do this for you, but you acting like that. Sometimes they just lie and say stuff like that, and they really have no intention on doing any of those things. But it's a tactic to keep you in because they know a lot of people are motivated, highly motivated by money and by receiving money. You see what I mean? So if you're a gold digger, just say that. Like that makes sense. But if you're someone who genuinely like is not trying to be a gold digger and you want to get out of this cycle of not letting how much money a man makes affect your thought process and all that, start with just not knowing how much he makes at all. Never know how much he makes. Him being an athlete is crippling enough. Okay, it's very biased enough. So do not find out how much money he makes. And two, even if you do for whatever reason, always see him for me as a regular man working a regular job. He broke. He has no money. So that way I'm really stuck with, can I deal with this person? Can I talk to this person? Can I be around this person? Because he brings nothing to the table that I don't bring myself. You know, so yeah, literally he's gonna make more money than you or whatever, or maybe you make more money than him, girl, period. But at the end of the day, you have to sit here and you have to like tell yourself in your mind, think real hard, okay? And trick your brain that this man is broke. If you think of him as broke, or he just lives in a regular house, drives a little Hyundai, a regular car, or whatever, a little Honda Accord, you know what I'm saying? Just think of him as a regular man. Your intentions and how you feel will be more pure because you're not subconsciously driven by what you can see in the future of his potential. Because as females, we have that bad. Everyone always talks about it. We're always like, oh my God, like we want to fix someone. We see the potential in them. Whereas guys take you for what you are when they see you. That's how it is. And that's how it needs to be. It should never be the other way around. It should never be that you see the potential and not take him for who he is. Don't do that. Now, of course, it takes time for a guy to spend money on you. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying that if he's not jumping out the gate spending money on you, it's a problem. I'm not saying if he's should be. I'm just saying that unless he's benefiting your life in some type of way, let it go. Okay? Because if you're going to hold on to now, if he's helping you pay your bills, helping you, you know, with school, helping you with some gaps, maybe some car payments, like whatever's going on in your life. And then let's say you guys are having some issues in your relationship and now you're debating on, do I want to stay with this person? Do I want to leave? Like whatever. Yeah, now the money is going to be a factor. You want to know why? Because that's something that you're receiving that then is going to go away. You know what I mean? So it makes sense then. But if you already just living your life, doing whatever, you guys are having problems, it should never the money shouldn't even be on a list of pros or cons because you're not seeing it. So that's just how I like to go about this whole process and about this money thing. Like we give them too much power and credit, these athletes, men in general, but these athletes, anyone, always know no matter how much he makes on paper does not mean that's the amount of money that he is going to be bringing home all of the time because he has to take that money out. Like I said, factor in who he wants to give money to, how he wants to throw it around. He wants to act like he's big balling. You know what I'm saying? Factor all that in. Factor in if he has any addictions, any habits, any type of lifestyle he wants to live. That's going to tell you then how he is. That right there. Because you also want someone who is saving his money, preparing for retirement, building businesses, doing something so that if he gets hurt on any given Sunday, he's still prepared, he's still set. So you want to make sure that you're with someone who is financially responsible and just mature in that category of all categories. Make sure that he spends his money well and just doesn't do and buy dumb shit. So that's another topic as well. That just goes into just how some athletes are just not the same, honey. But I really want to kind of just talk about that this week on this episode. And it's kind of like a shorter episode, but I do want to say, as I am turning 25 tomorrow, today for you guys as you're listening, thank you guys so much. I'm really wanting to just push forward in my life and be a better person, be a successful person. And I don't know, like, I just feel like I'm in a mode lately where I want to create content. I want to talk to you guys. I have things I want to talk about. And I think I'm just in a place right now where I'm real comfortable and confident in the things that matter to me and the topics that matter to me. And I feel like I don't need anyone else to talk about or validate, excuse me, what I want, you know? So it's kind of normally like, do you guys like this podcast episode? Do you like this title? I need to guess. Like, I want someone else to talk about it with me because I'm not confident. I'm feeling very confident in a lot of categories right now, and I'm thriving. One thing I'll say is I tried on my swimsuits that I ordered from Amazon last night, and y'all, my body looks different. Um, I'm gonna look beautiful, like gorgeous and like super goals to a lot of you guys because you probably don't know how like I normally look. You know what I mean? Like you just don't. I mean, you know me, but you know what I mean? You don't know me like that. So for me, I'm just really in a place where I'm happy with how I look right now and giving myself grace with certain circumstances. As I've been home for pretty much all of March, I haven't had a gym, I haven't worked out. So, of course, I'm not going to look how I en- envision myself looking for my birthday. But at the end of the day, I still have all summer to look good. You know what I'm saying? I want to come back out here to this fall for some football games or something. So, scratch that. So, I have time and I'm just so proud of the way I look because I can look way worse. You know, like I could, but always know what you notice a lot of times is insecurity or a problem. Other people don't even notice until you bring it up. Like I'm so serious. I'm not going to say some of mine, but there were some things I noticed in college, this theory, and we were talking about some things, and they were like, wait, I didn't even notice that about you till you said it. I'm like, really? Literally, it's like almost every insecurity you actually have. A lot of times people don't, it's like some of those like quirky ones, those small ones. People don't even notice them, you guys, literally until you bring it up. So it's like, I'm not going to talk about my body first because I actually still look really good. You know, your girl's body is still looking good, especially just with like how my diet's been way off. And by diet, I just mean like eating in general. I call it, it's not a diet. I've never been on a diet, but like what I've been eating, my food intake has been really bad. My like everything, my working out has been bad. So I'm just blessed that I'm able to even look this way with doing literally nothing and eating almost everything under the sun and being super unhealthy. I'm also the kind of person that if I don't drink enough water, I hold a lot of weight, and if I do not eat, I actually gain weight. You know, when people eat, they lose weight. I don't, I gain. So that's another little fun fact too about me. But yes, I am ready for this next chapter of my life and I'm getting ready to, think of my next podcast episode for the next week. I want to be consistent. I want to see myself succeed and thrive, and that's what we're going to do. And I have to go to bed early tonight, like I said, cuz I'm going to go to the beach to watch the sunrise in the morning and I'm super excited. I'm just learning to just know that things are going to be okay, being at peace, practicing being alone but not lonely, and that's what I'm doing here in California and just being just taking things in. And this year I really want to prioritize my mental health and what I want to do for myself because that's how I'm going to be able to keep accomplishing other goals in other areas of life. So now I'm going to go sit by the pool because I freaking want to. And I was gonna edit this, but I'm not because my laptop's on literally 34% and the baby needs to charge. So we'll edit maybe later on tonight. But instead of just laying down taking a nap, we are gonna go to the pool. Check out the vlog if you're interested. As always, you can get merch on kclockerroomtalk.com. It's always gonna be linked in the description on every podcast and YouTube video. Thank you guys so much for listening. See you guys later. Bye.